I get a major fix from adrenaline. If you never take a risk, you'll just be stale, you'll do nothing. Every time I sit in the car, it's a dream come true. I absolutely love being in that car. They're a challenge to drive, they're super fast. They're the coolest cars on the planet, and that's why I wanted to get in one.
We're testing the car, testing the new setup. Massive PB for me, 257 mile an hour. I run several companies. I have a landscaping company, and they're all under the Leeks Landscapes group. The other part of my company is we support the golf course construction industry and build golf courses around UK and Europe. Spent a lot of my years skydiving, base jumping, racing bikes, and obviously now racing the fuel car. And I really get my adrenaline of something happening quick. 3, 2, 1, see ya.
There's two different ways of getting adrenaline. There's slow release adrenaline that people get through nervousness and things like that. And then there's fast release adrenaline, which is what I think I'm hooked to. So as soon as the adrenaline's come, it's gone. But that's what I hunt for. Skydiving just became normal. After you've done 20 skydives, they're all the same. And it is very safe. It's a very safe sport. So to get my adrenaline fix, it's going lower, lower, opening lower. In the end, I actually got myself a month's ban from the British Skydiving Association because I was opening below the ceiling that you were allowed to open at. I knew it was going to happen, but that's where I was getting my fix, and that's what led me to go base jump.
See ya.
Base jumping is up there with possibly one of the most extreme things I've ever done. I went straight from skydiving into base jumping, jumping bridges, mountains, go over to Croatia, jump like 400-foot bridges. I've been out to Italy, jumped Mount Brento, which is like a 4,000-foot mountain, has a 1,000-foot straight down drop. You've got to open at the bottom of the 1,000-foot, and then you're going to take a canopy ride down the next 3,000 foot. The most high intense adrenaline base jumps are the low ones, because in 4 seconds, if you do nothing, you're going to hit the ground, and you'd be throwing the chute at 3 seconds. That's when the big rush of adrenaline comes. I stepped away from it. I lost a few friends in base jumping. I was starting to see myself go down the same path. I'm glad I'd done it, but I would say that I'll probably never base jump again. I've done it, it's good fun, but I knew when to quit. I grew up around the corner from here. I grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't many other kids about or anything like that. My dad was majorly into his motorbikes. I got my first motorcycle when I was 4 years old, I think, a little Italjet 50. I kind of fell upon drag racing. I was not a young fan of drag racing at all. I don't think I'd been to Santa Pod until I was about 18, 19 years old, and I'd go and watch. And I can always remember seeing Dave Beck go down on the Pro Stock bike, the Top Fuel bikes going down there. I loved the look of them. I was just like, yeah, no, they're badass. I'd see the funny cars go down there and the likes of Gary Page, John Spafford, but I never really pitched myself at going in one. I was just a spectator. So originally I bought an outlaw bike off a guy called Stephen Moon over here. The engine had been built by a tuner in the States called Dan Wagner. I didn't know how to finish it off, so I had to go up to Stuart Crane at Warp Speed Racing. He built the rest of the bike for me, and we went out racing with that. A few phone calls were made to ask, you know, what we should run, how we should run it, and everything like that. So that was kind of my early connection with Dan Wagner. And then it progressed over the years. I built bikes with Stuart Crane, built pro mod bikes. I'd run nitrous oxide over here, racing in Europe. And eventually we worked with Dan Wagner in the States to make my bike a turbo funny bike, which it ended up being a methanol bike. My company was growing at the time, and I wanted to take a year out. I parked the bike up, and in that time, my tuner, Dan Wagner in the States, had his whole workshop burned to the ground with customers' bikes in, absolutely everything, and it was devastating for him. So I got on the phone to him and said, look, I was planning on taking next year out anyway.
why don't I send you my bike? You put one of your riders on it. You can use my bike for the year. Maybe at the end of the year, I'll come out, live my dream and do one race in America. We created the bike up and sent it to the States. We had a rider ready to go on it. It was all set to go. The first round of the XDA Championship was in 2 days' time. I get a phone call from Dan, and somehow the deal had fell through. This rider wasn't going to ride. And he said, you better bring your leathers and your helmet. And I'm like, I can't race with these boys. These are the guys I've looked up to my whole life. They're my heroes and everything like that. I can't run against them. Unfortunately, my dad has stood on the start line for every single pass I've ever done down the drag strip. And he couldn't get his visa in time. And I was only going because I was going to spectate and kind of help him with my bike. I literally traveled to America on my own, drove down, and my bike's there, and I met a bunch of guys who'd taken my bike for Dan. He didn't have a motorhome, didn't have a trailer. So for me to turn up and they'd laid all this on for me was amazing. But I grew a relationship with those guys over 2 years, which will go till the day I die. They'll be best friends for life. We actually ended up coming runner-up in the first event that I raced over there at Maryland International Raceway. I couldn't believe I was there, but then to go on a year later and win the championship was surreal and a highlight of my career, 20 years ago, I was a bulldozer driver, and Mark and Jackie Hawkins had finished their engineering company and gone to help somebody in a quarry in Leighton Buzzard, and they went through the yellow pages, found my boss, and hired a bulldozer with a driver. And it was me that turned up there. He started talking about drag racing and stuff like that. We got on quite well. I hadn't drag raced at this point, but we built this relationship over 20 years. I'd been on and on and on at him. Let me drive the funny car. And he'd be like, no, no, no. Then while I was out in America, he decided to say to me, look, are you serious about driving this funny car? I was like, yeah, I want to drive the funny car. So he said, if you want to prove yourself, you need to go over to Frank Hawley's school and, take the course. And so I went straight away, picked up the phone, rung Frank Hawley up, went out there and drove his methanol funny car. We broke the school record in the car, and I'd done 4 passes in it, which was pretty cool. Got straight on the phone to Mark and was like, you're going to let me drive that funny car? I've done what you said. And so that's kind of how we started the deal. I have a very blank mind. When the car gets fired up, every thought in your head just disappears. The most nervous time that I actually have is when I back up, they lift the body up, and you've got a major responsibility. You've got guys hanging inside a car that has no neutral. It's either in forward or in reverse. So when they're actually under it, you put it back in forward. One slip of anything, and you're going to unleash 10,000 horsepower on it. When I'm nudging in, I'm not really thinking of anything. You can't have anything going through your mind. You're just trying to put the bulbs on. I pick a target and I stare at it. And the whole time I'm going down the track, even if the car goes sideways, my eyes will stay on the target, because you kind of naturally will follow where your eyes are pointing. If you look at the wall, you'll go to the wall. And that's what I do. Lee straps me in the car. It's uncomfortable in there. The one thing that you need the moment that you've been strapped in is a piss. Every single time. I want to get down the other end as quick as I can so I can jump out the car. That is a given. You get strapped in, yeah, you need a piss. No, I sit in there and I feel privileged to actually be in that seat. There's not many people on the planet who get to do it. My daughter's always a little bit nervous, but she's super proud of me as well, so she loves it when I've been down there. Enzo, he couldn't care less. He just loves the fact it's all dangerous. I guess I'm quite selfish in the way that I do what I do, but I would always say to my kids, just go and do what you want to do. I live more in those 4 seconds than some people live in a whole lifetime, and I want my kids to do the same. Unfortunately, Mark, the owner of the car, had been taken ill and taken into hospital. So Shane and the boys stepped up and we went to the first meeting. We didn't miss it.
Right, ready? Let's go. Right, ready for a film.
We went out for the first pass, had brand new tyres on. So I was given a license to thrill, really, was to go out there and do a big burnout to scrub the tyres in. But unfortunately, I backed it up, they lifted the body up and then just told me to shut the car down. We were suffering with low oil pressure.
You ready?
That was a lot more like it.
So yeah, run one on the Friday, we had a planned early shut off, and the reason is this car and its new configuration and everything that's got on it, we needed to make sure that it was going to come back healthy each time. It done certain things to me which I had to drive out of these situations, which was better to learn at that stage of the game than it was to go clean 1,000-foot passes, and then it chucked something at me. So I got to learn how to drive a little bit better by things that were going wrong.
Still no license?
So basically, they set a bar for us to achieve to make sure that you're safe to race against the other cars. You've got to run 4.90 at over 230 mile an hour in 1,000 foot, because we raced at 1,000. Run one on the Saturday, we had planned to shut off at the half track. It made a move on me and was just coming out of the start line. I slightly pedalled it. I wouldn't call it a big pedal. I just straightened it out and the team were happy with it, and we'd gone to the half track and shut it off. Run 2 on the Saturday is the first time I got to experience the car blowing the tyres away. I caught it at a low enough RPM that we didn't cause any damage, and the team were happy that I did that. So yeah, that was good. This run actually gave me a totally different scenario where it didn't blow the tyres away immediately. It hooked up, went, then smoked the tyres, which then sent it over towards the wall.
You sort of lifted when you were close to the wall, and then I think it just went back a bit.
Did it shake the tyres?
That was actually more fun, because I was like, oh, whoa, all sorts, this is interesting.
I mean, foolishly, pedalling them is not a great idea because it causes damage in them. But it all happens really quick. You just do it, and as long as you keep your eyes on the target, your hands are going to fight to try and keep you pointing towards your target. Sunday run 2, we got much further down the track, but unfortunately it put oil underneath my tyres. It spun the car out sideways, and yeah, had to back out of it and roll through.
Yeah, a little bit sketchy. It went over towards the wall, wiggled about. I had to pedal it a little bit, and yeah, it didn't go as far as I wanted it to go, but I had to drive it, which was, yeah, she made some moves. It made me smile.
Monday, it's the last day I'll get a swing at it, and we went out there. I was having to stay busy in there to keep it in a straight line. It was moving around.
Dale is going to be like a terrier with about 25 pounds.
Thank you all so much. I knew I'd done it. I knew I'd done it. That's what it's all about. They wonder why it's so miserable every time it comes back, because that's what I wanted.
From the half track, I knew it was going to do it. I was like, this is the fastest I've been. I could feel the G-force in my back. And then just after the half track, it started to fade away. And I was like, I think it's eating itself up. But I was so close to the target. I was like, I'm just going to keep my foot in.
Oh, that means a fucking well. I'm a funny guy now.
You are, mate. You are.
I think I probably shut off about 850 foot, which was good enough to get us to 4.6 at 231. And the minimum requirement was 4.9 at 230. So we were in by 1 mile an hour and well in on the ET. I know I had to do it again, but that was good enough. You've got to do 2, and I had to do 2. First run of Bug Jam, obviously coming off of the 4.6 at the main event. We've got Johnny West on board. He's been in this workshop for 3 or 4 days before we went to the event, changing all the fueling setups and everything like that. And we get the car fired up in the pits, we go down as normal. And apparently I didn't get the memo, but when I came back, he said, I told you to go 300 foot. And this is where we had a disagreement, because I went 1,000 foot off the trailer and went 4.6 and gained my license. We'd been picking up engine damage throughout the whole year, and it got to a point I spoke to the boys in the team and I was like, should we get somebody over from the States to lend us a hand and just, you know, show us a way of getting this car down there cleanly. Not necessarily fast, but cleaner, coming back using less parts. And the name cropped up, Johnny West. I'd spoken to Mark Hawkins about it over a few weeks before and said, you know, if you brought anyone over, who would you bring over? So that's why we brought him over for Bug Jam. Everybody always says, are you scared in the car? You know, do you get nervous in the car? Not at all. But the only thing I've ever been apprehensive of is having a fire. Now, funny cars are known for having fires. It's not if you have a fire, it's when you're going to have a fire.
So the engine fires then from the beast from the east. Dale Lightning Leeks. Well, 492, 189. It was a 0.95, 60 foot, but a ball of flame at the end of the run though.
Just lift my foot, bang it down again. The fuel's all upset in there. Bang, shoots a rod out the bottom of the motor, and I catch fire in the shutdown area. So you've got 2 Perspex discs inside the firewall that show you that you've got a fire on the other side. Now, it's dark inside there, and all I could describe to you, because I've never had a fire before, was that these 2 headlights came on. I was like, what's going on there? I've looked at them, and I'm like, that's fire. So Saturday, run 1, car fired up, absolutely fine. Went to go into burnout, stepped on the pedal, and it just did nothing. The RPM went up and down and all over the place, and then that was it. So it clearly wasn't going to make a run. Unfortunately, shut it down, tow it back to the pits. That is the most frustrating thing for me ever. We get back to the pits and we find out basically that I'd broken the throttle pedal. So where the throttle linkage goes onto the pedal, I'd broken it. The team kept saying to me, Dale, you need to be more gentle on the pedal. And at this point I turned around and I said, you cannot tell me to be gentle on the pedal of a 10,000 horsepower car. I'm gonna try and send that through the floor. So we cut bits out of the workbench, I think, and welded to it overnight and beefed it up, because I was like, I'm going to keep trying to send that throttle 110%. I believe that's what my job should be. Saturday, run 2, went out, car kicked left, I managed to save it, shut the throttle off, live another day. So Sunday, during the warm-up in the pits, obviously you rebuild the car overnight, everything's all good to go, but you can't fire it up at night. You go to fire it up in the morning, it wouldn't fire up. And then there's a mad rush trying to work out what the hell's going wrong with it. We narrowed it down to a coil pack, changed the coil pack over and managed to get it fired up, but you're on the back foot at that point. You're just rushing around trying to get out there. Every single driver in the class is just, they're awesome and they've welcomed me in. We've got a lot of respect for each other getting in and out of them cars. I've been watching Steve for years, and to line up next to him was a privilege for me. We both went out there, both blew the tyres away, and it was a scrap. We were scrapping, I pedalled it, he pedalled it. The veteran humbled the rookie by just pedaling it past me and took the win. The Euro Finals, my first event of being able to race the whole way through. So from day one, I'm qualifying and I'm in the pack with all the guys. To go out, run one of the weekend, go 300 foot, and basically the car has a safety device on it that's set to a certain PSI. If the pan sees pressure, it means that the combustion's going down past the rings and getting them into the bottom end. It means you've scuffed your pistons, scuffed your liners, and that's what it had done in the first 300 foot. I was pissed, you know. Friday, run number 2 against Steve Ashtown, and both of us had explosions. It dropped a valve, and the moment it drops a valve, bang, big explosion. And that's it, that's that run done.
Twice, right? So it's on the brake, on the brake now, and then clutch down and then let the brake off.
Saturday, obviously, awesome for me. Run a PB, 446, 257 mile an hour. I had to fight it a little bit to keep it in the middle. I got it back to the centre, went for my chutes, hit my chutes at 1,000 foot. And at the moment I hit the chutes, the car made a move to the right. I put my hand over my hand. I had no more steering left, and it just brushed the wall. I thought, I've destroyed the side of this car. But it was like being in a go-kart in the wet. I didn't understand it. I was like, why am I hand over hand and the car's not responding to it?
Oh, it's fucking coated in oil, and it just put me straight in the wall.
When the parachutes tugged, it just made a move. That was the direction I was going in, but the bang was so loud, I was like, shit, I have destroyed the body.
It was exciting.
To be up against Kevin Kent was real cool for me. Obviously we both wanted to win that, but he brought more to the table than I did. I still ran a PB for 42 at 271 mile an hour. Unfortunately, I was lazy on the lights, but he ran a 4.2, I went a 4.4, but it was super cool for both of us, and he went on to win the event, so that's super cool. It's been a great rookie year for me. I will not be the rookie next year, so yeah, I'm coming out there to race. I mean, I owe massive thanks this year to John Spuffard. John came along with me when I first drove Kevin Kent's car. He took me under his wing and coached me all year. He'd debriefed me about my driving after each run. And to just be able to go back and talk to him after each one, what can I do, what can I get away with doing and stuff like that, has been invaluable. And I can't thank him enough really for his involvement with me. He's been there at every race meeting. So yeah, thanks John.